welcome Eddie Blood. So, not much to say. I lost $1,000 on betting on Auburn. I thought they were going to win it pretty much the whole game until the very end. Florida wins it. That's not even what it was. Ended up being the game, the Duke-Houston game. Arkansas like choked. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They scored one bucket in the last 10 minutes of the game. I could not believe what I was watching. I could because it usually happens to my team.
Yep.
So that I felt. So me and all the Duke people felt exactly the same. Like they understood where I was coming from my whole life. I've never seen anything like that. At the end of that game, and again, it's been talked about 100 times, but I'm going to tell you, whenever he tried to take the ball from him, throwing it out of bounds, and he got the tech called on him, I then thought it was over again. Yeah. There were like 4 times where I thought, okay, they've stopped the bleeding just in time. Now Duke will win the game.
That was a brain fart, right? Like he just wasn't thinking. Like everyone knows you can't do that. He just wasn't thinking.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
I have seen.
No.
And I'd be curious about someone, Casey, if you don't mind Googling this.
Yeah.
I have seen that there's a rule in some league that if you hold the ball out over the line,
You can grab it.
that you can grab it. Now, that could be like junior high. And so that wasn't the case here.
No, he thought he was playing defense.
It was hilarious. But I was rooting for Houston big time, even though I said I didn't think Houston or Duke would win. Duke, because everybody thought Duke would win, so I was out. Houston, because their name is Houston, and Houston just doesn't win. So I'm still standing by all that. But that play is when I thought, okay, Duke just got Duke lucky, and now they're going to win. So is that a rule anywhere, Casey?
I'm just seeing the 5 seconds holding it. You can't.
Okay. If you do find
I'm going
it,
to keep looking.
Let me know. The missed free throw, I do think that foul they called on flag probably wasn't a foul. But again, Duke, you got to score more than one bucket in the last 10 minutes.
Yep.
Exactly.
Crazy. Like Houston, freaking awesome. Those guys, they went one-on-one with flag at the end of the game.
And he had a shot.
He had a shot, but shut him down.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. I saw them walking in the hallway with Kelvin Sampson after the game, and one of the guys was like, his own guys was like, that's apparently like the biggest comeback in the history of the Final Four, like the craziest comeback. And he's like, yeah, he goes, well, how down were we? And I think the guy said 15, and he goes, oh, good thing it wasn't 17, because we weren't coming back from that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love that he didn't know. Like, how far were we down? It's 14, I think he said. Yeah.
Those Houston guys were grinders.
They were, man.
I saw a story about them. They all ran the mile at the beginning of the year. Every person on the team. If you're on the team, you have to run a mile. And that their average time in running the mile was like 5:18 or something, right? 5 minutes, 18 seconds. And the slowest was like 5:50. The fastest was whatever. But they took such pride. And the picture was them with all their shirts off with like chains around them. They took such pride in having that cardio and being strong. And holy crap, has it not paid off? They are monsters defensively. It's crazy to see. That game was wild. That's wild.
I think they heard you, man.
That's wild. That's good. Good. I do want Florida to beat Houston now. So just because I'm an SEC guy and I said Houston can't win a championship only because their name is Houston, which is a stupid thing to say, but I am who I am. I am who I am. But that was a crazy A game.
I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it either.
Every time. Even my wife was like, what the heck? And I was like, if she's into it, then I know it's a crazy game.
Right.
There's like 8 plays I could go like when this happened. So we'll just move off of it. But I lost a bunch of money, but I put the money a long time ago, so I already felt lost.
Yeah.
It's funny how that happens.
Like I bet at the beginning of the tournament, so it was already gone. So
You never really saw it. Was it really there? Who knows?
it was there.
Oh, okay.
It was there. I lost a lot of money this tournament.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
You shouldn't feel sorry for losses like this. I would rather lose money like this than lose the game like we lost to Texas Tech.
I think a lot of people probably lost money, though, because a lot of favorites won. And you're not going to win money unless you really bet the underdogs and they win.
Yeah, my bracket ended up being kind of sucky, and I was either 7 for 8 or 8 of 8 at Elite 8 teams. Like, I was on. And then once my Tech lost, because I had Tech going to the Final Four. They made it Elite 8.
I did too.
Once Auburn didn't, all my eggs were in the basket of those teams that got to the Elite 8 but didn't get to the Final Four, basically. What'd you find, Casey? Anything?
Not yet.
Okay, it could have just been some stupid local rec league.
It just keeps giving me the 5-second rule.
But I do wonder what he was doing.
Yeah.
He wonders. Till this day.
He wasn't thinking, man. I bet
right
he was
after it
just
happened, him
thinking.
and Kelvin Sampson were both like, what the heck did I just do?
I mean, make a free throw.
Yeah.
Dude, make a free throw.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Get a bucket, inbounds the ball. I was surprised Shire let that kid, was it James or I think it's James, inbound the ball for the second time.
Yeah.
Because he looked scared the first time.
He was rattled.
He looked like he was clueless as
Yeah.
to how fast his heart was beating and what his eyes were
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
He
And no
just
fault of his
lost.
own, but it's just like, come on, man. Ugh.
So there's one. I got a few things I wanted to talk about. Number 2 is going to be, let's get an update on pickleball. And we had you guys reach out to this guy again that wanted to play for $1,000. Let's go to Kevin first. Kevin, any luck?
Crickets.
Read
got,
it.
I got nothing.
Nothing.
Wow.
That's so weird.
I even hit him twice.
Yeah.
What a freaking loser.
He was talking a lot of smack too, man.
You think he's scared?
I mean, I'm going to have to message him now and be like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to be set up, not by me. We have an attorney that's neither, and let's go play the game. But do you think he sees you guys'?
I would guess no, because he doesn't look very active as it is. Social media active.
Do we think he's running?
I think so.
I think so.
Do we
I
think
think
he's
so.
dead?
Yeah,
Has
I'm
he
not gonna.
tweeted
I'm
at
not
all?
gonna jinx that.
Has he tweeted at all?
No, since I checked over the
No.
weekend, no.
Insane, man. What if he's hurt?
I was trying to find his actual information so I could contact his job.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
No luck.
That'd be hilarious.
Love that.
Call his boss.
Well, we're not telling on
It's
him.
urgent.
We're just looking to
Yeah.
get in touch with him.
I mean, if he says no, cool, we know, but
Yeah.
he's not just leaving us hanging.
we're just looking to get we
Give me
got
an
an
answer.
attorney. Got $1,000. You the one that talk garbage. I'm gonna fly to Cleveland and play pickleball against you for $1,000 because you talk crap. Let's go. I might lose. You're a 4-year D1 athlete. I mean, if DraftKings are putting the odds on it, you're probably at minus 160 or so
Yeah.
over little old me. I can't even practice. It's been raining every day.
I know.
I can't even.
This is bizarre.
Little old me.
Lilo, you.
Yeah, why be scared of little old me? If he is dead, though, that sucks.
No, that really does.
Yeah,
suck.
that
I'm
would
sorry
be
about
good.
that.
Hey, condolences to everybody out there and his family and stuff.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not a hockey guy, but Ovi,
Yeah, shout out. Yeah.
more goals now than Gretzky. Not more points, but more goals.
Right.
But yeah, so cool.
Who is this guy? Who does he play for?
Alex Ovechkin.
Washington Capitals.
Oh, I was going to ask
I
who
was
he
going
thought
to
he
say
played for.
Washington
And he's played with them the
Capitals.
whole time, right? He's never changed
Yeah.
teams. And then I watched some of who just honked a loogie on their microphone. Did anybody do that?
No, I went, "Phew," like, we got to
Oh, okay.
name
It sounded like somebody didn't.
I
It sounded
didn't.
like someone did turn
Really
their
doesn't
mic
like
off and went,
Ovechkin.
"Oh."
Dang, yeah.
No. I was thinking about Gretzky being the great one. I'm like, well, now this guy needs a name.
So
Yeah.
I think he has a name.
Oh,
I'm
Ovi?
not sure.
Ovi.
Yeah, well, that's a nickname because his name's Alex Ovechkin. But Gretzky was there to shake his hand and do his thing. But Gretzky has more points just through assists, where
Yeah.
Ovechkin doesn't. Gretzky was a passer, but just had the goals record as well.
And all the Stanley Cups too,
But that was a record they thought would never be broken. Was Gretzky's goals record? His points record they still don't think will be broken. But I did pull up. These are sports records they don't think anybody's ever going to break. But they thought that this record would never be broken.
True.
What comes to mind?
Lou
I got one.
You can say one. Say whatever.
Gehrig.
What,
The singles or the hits?
Hits?
what Lou
Is
Gehrig?
it hits? No. Most games played
That got
consecutively.
broken.
No.
No, that did get broken.
Cal Ripken.
That's the one I
That's
would have
Cal-
said.
so
Ripken's.
hits.
There's one
Who
that's
has the
like
hits one?
There's
It's like
one that's
57?
52
Hold on.
hits.
I'm curious where Lou Gehrig. No. Okay. First of all, everybody needs to stop.
No.
You guys are probably thinking of the 56 game hit streak.
Yes.
Joe
That's the
DiMaggio.
one.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe DiMaggio?
Yes. That's
Oh.
probably what you're thinking when you think of Yankees.
Yes.
Gehrig was the Iron Horse because of all the games that he played, but that was beat by Cal Ripken. That was when we were kids, and he went around and gave everybody 5, and then kind of retired after that.
Yeah.
Okay, but Cal Ripken would have come to my mind immediately.
Yeah.
Anything come to your
I
mind?
was going to say DiMaggio. That was the big one. for me.
56 game hit streak.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct.
That's the one. That's what I meant.
That's tough.
The other Yankee.
I think, and again, you may fact check me on this, but the last person to bat 400 was Ted Williams. That hasn't happened. I think Tony
Yes.
Gwynn got close.
Exactly. Yeah. I
Was
think he had 390 something insane on the Padres.
Was Ichiro ever close?
I don't
To
think
400,
so.
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, I think he probably batted 340, 350, but that's close now.
Yeah.
So what was the DiMaggio one?
56 game hit streak.
So that's 56 hits.
56, 56 games in a row he got a hit.
At least one
That's-
hit.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's the all time.
That's amazing.
Okay, here we go, boys and girls. This is what I pulled up. NFL wise, Jerry Rice's career receiving yards, 22,895. one, nobody's even close yard-wise, but the longevity that he had makes a big difference.
Right. Yeah.
Emmitt Smith's career rushing yards, 18,355 yards.
That's awesome.
Running backs today don't last, and they don't run enough for anyone to, right now, with how football is played, they don't run the ball enough for this to happen. Now, we've seen transitions from passing to rushing, depending on what the flavor of the decade is. Right now, it's a lot of throwing. You're seeing passing records being beat a lot. Emmitt Smith's career rushing yards probably will not be broken in our lifetime. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 1976 and 1977, they lost 26 games in a row. It would take 2 full seasons. So if it goes at 17-game schedule, so it wouldn't take 2 full, but it would take 2.
Almost.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't think the NFL would let that happen.
No, right?
The Lions went totally defeated.
Yeah.
In the last
Totally
2 years.
defeated.
08.
Brett Favre's 297 consecutive starts at quarterback. Quarterbacks don't stay healthy long enough. Now
Yeah,
to
there's
do
no
this.
way.
And I think Eli was close, but then they benched him, and it was a whole controversy. Yeah.
And then also it's playing more games in a season actually limits the odds of this happening, because imagine a 14-game season versus a 17-game season. That's 3 extra games in that season where you might be hurt, where you may get through a 14 without having to miss a game. But you start putting 15, 16, 17, odds are the more games you play, the more you're going to get hurt. So the longer the seasons go, you would think, well, that's just more games to play. But actually, you're having to play all those in a row with the bye week happening twice. So, but yeah, 297 career consecutive starts. College football, Oklahoma's 47-game win streak. Now, this is from 1953 to 1957.
I was going to say, when was that? I don't remember that. It's been a bit.
This should not be an official rule. This should not be an official record, because anything before integration really shouldn't count.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of slow white kids, and they're able to cheat with like this. And that goes for any of it. But Oklahoma's
That's incredible, though.
47-game win streak. Barry Sanders had 2,600 rushing yards in one season in 11 games.
Wow.
In college.
No, NFL. Oh, college.
College.
Oklahoma State.
Okay.
Oklahoma State.
Just
yeah.
making sure.
Yeah, because Genty was trying to
Yes.
beat him.
Oh, he was.
But he played more games. He still didn't.
Yeah, he was close.
But he still, And Mike Rozier's 29 straight 100-yard games. College football, Nebraska. 29 straight 100-yard games. Again, that's wild just on the surface, but nobody runs it enough now to have one player run for that many.
Yeah.
Baseball, Cal Ripken, DiMaggio's 56-game hit streak, Nolan Ryan's 7 no-hitters. And I remember like 6 and 7. Nolan Ryan was in his 40s.
Yeah.
What a beast.
And when you're 12, someone throwing in their 40s isn't that big a deal. When you get to your 30s and your 40s, someone dominating in their 40s, you're like, dang. It's like LeBron now being 40, and he's probably going to be first-team All-NBA this year as a 40-year-old.
It's amazing.
Absolutely crazy.
You're like, that's wild. Now, if I'm 13, I'm like, yeah, it's all the same. And 29 or 39, there's no difference.
We didn't know how old anyone was.
Dude, it's crazy. To think now that he was in his 40s throwing no-hitters.
Pretty crazy.
Sounds painful.
He has one of the fastest first pitches ever, meaning he was already retired in his 60s, and they bring out somebody to the ceremonial first pitch.
Oh.
That's funny.
I saw the top 5 fastest ceremonial first pitches ever, and I think he was at number 2 or 3, and he wasn't even throwing that hard.
It's just regular. It's
He
how
was,
it
I
comes
think he
off.
threw like 80.
Good
but
Lord.
he was like he's like 64.
He was 63 and threw 85 miles.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, almost 90 miles an hour.
Absolute legend. Wow.
Total gray hair and bald.
Like, I still got it.
Yes.
He was in
And
a
I-
button up and slacks.
Yes. Button-up shirt.
Dang.
It's hilarious. There's a good documentary on Netflix about Nolan Ryan. Did you see it?
Yeah. Yeah. Really good.
Didn't think it'd be that good. Ended up really watching it fully.
Yeah.
Which, if I'm a little undecided, I will guarantee myself half of it, and then I'll come back and watch second half if I like it. But that one I sat all the way through.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really good.
NBA, Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game, 1962. So here's the thing with that. There are no cameras that has.
No.
This
just
game
that
is not
picture.
recorded.
Yeah.
And so, as Eddie taught us, the scorekeeper can do whatever he wants
I've done it.
because
I've done it.
and he was scorekeeper for his kids' games.
You know what I think I did this weekend? I think I kicked someone out of the game by I don't think they got 5 fouls, but my paper said 5 fouls. I
Disqualified them.
had to kick them out.
Oh my!
I would think though that somebody's parents would have reacted so negatively. It'd have been such they'd have been so dude, they'd have gone out of their mind.
Because it was a major tournament, but it was one kid was 24 and the other was 29, and I think I got him
I
mixed
just think
up.
the parent would have freaked out had
Yeah.
you pulled the kid without them knowing, especially if it's a tournament. And I think they probably keep up with their kids' fouls.
And I'm a little
Yeah.
annoying too when someone gets 5 fouls. I'm like, hey, ref, they're out of here.
I was gonna make the George Brett Pine Tar reference, but I don't know if you guys would get that.
Oh yeah.
You do? Because
Yeah.
I don't remember it. I was too young, but I've seen it.
When he charged the mound,
Yes.
he's like, beat the
When-
crap out of the guy.
Yeah. When they said you have pine tar on your bat and he
Yeah.
sprints out.
George Brett did.
It was way, way, way long time ago. Yeah, so the 100-point game, I think we do what we did here with the the Oklahoma win streak, because we can't see it,
There's no picture of the scoreboard,
Yeah.
nothing.
but the scoreboard doesn't matter.
And what's crazy is I'm watching that Celtics documentary on HBO that Bill Simmons did, and they have so much video of Chamberlain and Bill Russell, and there's still nothing of this 100-point game.
Who shot that 3 and made it?
Well, there were no threes.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. Who made that point?
Reed jumps in for a little sports here, which he never does because
There's no threes back there. Dang, man. Yeah, there's no chance then.
Bill Russell's 11 NBA titles.
Yeah.
John Stockton's career assists at 15,000.
Wow.
And Wilt Chamberlain averaged 50 points a game. Pfft, nobody's going to get 40 now, much less 50. I mean, you're looking at like Luka whenever he's completely ball dominant and his usage rate is super high and he's 32.
Man, you
So-
don't think they can beat that? I feel like
50 a game.
I feel like we can get there at some point.
Oh.
I feel like there's so many stars on each team that
Yeah.
that would never happen.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
we'll
they'll
see.
all be taking shots.
Well,
Because you're definitely not talking about defense, right? I mean, there's
It's not even that. It's just 50 is that's
a lot.
unreal.
That's a lot of points.
Just to
And-
do that once is crazy.
Yeah. And how many games I wonder that they played back then?
4.
Yeah. Definitely not 82.
Yeah, there you go.
They played 4 games, and also Wilt's 100-point game. I wonder how much that affected his 50.4 average
Yeah,
for
right.
the season.
Right.
Wayne Gretzky is the point getter, not goal, but point getter. You could erase all of his goals, and he'd still be the all-time points leader just off assists.
That's unbelievable. Yeah.
Michael Phelps 8 gold medals
oh yeah.
and 1 Olympics,
That's tough.
which is 2008. The swimming thing though is a little cheating as well, because it's like we're gonna do the 400 with no pinky. Now we're gonna do the 400 with 2 pinkies. Now we do the 400 with 1 eye closed. It's like they have 47 events that are just slightly different.
Yeah.
And if you're really good at one of them, you're probably really good at a few of them.
Yep.
Not saying that he's not super dominant, because everybody has the ability to win like he did and no one ever has. But the swimming thing's a little odd when it comes to most decorated medalist ever, and it's swimming. They have 17 events that's the backstroke. One is just with your left foot flexed.
Only using your left hand.
Yes, that's it.
One eye closed.
Devin Hester's career return touchdowns.
Yeah.
20 total career
Wow.
return touchdowns. He's in the Hall of Fame. Maybe the only Hall of Famer to specifically as a return guy, possibly. So anyway, I saw that Ovechkin had broken that record, so I brought that there.
His celebration was cool, huh? Sliding on the ice. Did you see it?
On a stomach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Of course,
cool.
it was against the Islanders too. It was like right in my hometown. It was like right around the block from where I used to live.
And I'm not a hockey guy, and I've
Yeah.
openly admitted that I don't know anything about hockey, but I guess I know more than Eddie, it sounds like.
I don't know.
Like I
anything
know
about
who he
hockey.
is, and I did watch.
I seen, don't understand it.
Man, he looks old now, too.
Ovechkin, he
Yeah.
does.
I haven't seen him in years because, I don't know, they haven't been relevant, I guess, in
Yeah.
the playoffs. And that's the only time I watched. And I'm like, dang, he looks old.
The helmet off. Yeah.
And part of it too is because he has a beard, and that beard is so like salt and pepper and like gray.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about him too is he like has just like a normal dude body. It kind of always has.
Yeah.
Just been like your uncle. He just kind of looks like your uncle out there.
He's like Luca.
That's really yeah.
Like they drink beers after games for sure.
So yeah, congratulations to him. I was filling in for Rich Eisen early last week. I'm just gonna play this clip because I did not know this was coming. I thought it was funny. I had on Eli Drinkwitz, who we refer to as Drink, who everybody refers to as Drink, as a guest, and he doesn't have much of a filter, which is what I like about him. And he brought up something about me that I did not know was public knowledge. Now, I am a donor to the University of Arkansas. And what he said here, when he said it, I was a little taken aback because I was like, how did he even know this? My theory now is he found it somewhere and was loaded, ready to go. Because he loves to just like, not even in a negative way, because I thought it was funny. But here you go. Would you play the clip, please?
But I did see, with the Razorback Sweet 16 appearance, I saw where you were on the, giving out another 50,000 or something to their NIL. So that was pretty good. I mean, they kind of got you on the hook,
public?
right?
I swear to you, I did not know that was public. I did not, I don't mind, because you're not making a joke.
I thought you tweeted it.
I didn't tweet that.
I'm in for another 50. Great job, Cal.
So I didn't tweet that. I know how I knew that.
So you didn't tweet it though, like
No.
you said.
I don't think you would tweet
I
something
would
like that.
never tweet that. I wouldn't even
Right.
share how much.
Here's another 50.
that I recently donated there.
Right, but it's almost like he quoted your tweet, like he read it somewhere.
No, I think he was just being funny. I think he came into
Oh.
the interview ready to go, like ready to mix it up, not in a bad way, because we've had him on. He's fun to have on. And he came in, and I had asked him after that. I went to it. I was like, all right, screw it. Like, you just say stuff to irritate people. Like, I know. And he talked about a couple of instances, like with Heupel at Tennessee when he goes, we stand on business, and they caught him. And he goes, sometimes, but I think he was doing that there to be funny. Because I didn't tweet that. I would never tweet that.
I wonder if there's like a database somewhere where people have to declare how much they've gotten and from who. Because how would he know that?
My point exactly. Unless there is, yes, some sort that coaches or administrators that they can see. I don't know. But I definitely did not put that out there.
That's hilarious.
That was funny. I was watching them when that happened. Your face was like, what?
I thought he just got lucky making a joke.
Yeah.
Because I also didn't donate it because of Cal and the basketball team, which is what's funny, is it was before that. So he obviously was just messing with me.
That's so good.
But it was like 3 weeks before that.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, he was definitely messing with you.
Yes. Yeah. So I must tip the old hat.
Yeah.
Because he came in prepared to really kick me in the nuts in a funny way, and he did. And I tried to Google. There was nothing. I saw nothing.
Weird.
It has to be somebody that like works in the administration somehow in SEC. I don't know. He definitely took a different angle, but good for him.
I guess
funny.
52 though is could be a random number. They just 50, like 50 could just be a random number to throw out and maybe you hit
It's
it.
not. There's no way. He would have just said money. You don't hit it right on the head like that, luckily. And also, I had just like a month prior that there's no chance that was just luck, coincidence.
crazy.
No chance. We had a little, I won't say drama, but here at the studio, I don't know when you're listening to this, if you're listening on Monday when we're doing it or Tuesday the next day. But so earlier this morning, it hasn't aired on the Bobby Bone Show yet. We had Counting Crows coming into play. And they have a new record coming out in May. It's my favorite band ever. And Eddie's also a big fan of Counting Crows. So we're pretty pumped about it. And so, I come in this morning and I'm like, man, it's going to be awesome because they're going to do a hit. And then they're also going to do one of the new songs. And I'm like, love it. I would have even been like, okay, cool, 2 new songs. But I'd have been a little disappointed because you want to hear like the songs that that are the big hits from your favorite band. And so we get in and Scuba's like, yeah, they're going to do a Long December and a new one. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like if I could have just picked one song for them to do, that would have been it.
Great song.
Yeah. And Scuba's like, but we didn't have a keyboard. And I'm like, okay, well, when did you know? He was like, well, like Friday or Saturday. They said that. And I'm like, man, I could have rounded up a keyboard, like a nice one. I'd have bought a keyboard. And it's like 7 a.m. here. And they're coming in as soon as the show ends. So we got like 2.5 hours. So I text Brandon Ray, and I'm like, you have a keyboard? And he goes, I have a small one because he does music production. And then I text Reed, and Reed's like, I got a keyboard. I'll bring it up. And so Reed comes up. And
Saved the day.
I'm still trying to get, because they're like, a Long December. That's like the one you want to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Jones is awesome, but it's one more day up in the canyon.
On the piano?
Yes, just him. It's one more night in Hollywood. If you think that, so Reed then shows up with a broken keyboard.
In my defense, I didn't know it was broken, and it's my roommate's, and I think he was still asleep, and so I texted him, asked if I could borrow it, but I took it anyway. And then I'm like, 10 minutes away from the studio, and I get a text from him, and he's like, "Hey, which keyboard did you grab? Was it this 88 key?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Dude, I don't think that one works." So then I was like, "Great.
We still rolled up with it. They still tried it. So it took forever to like go through the oh my
Yeah.
God.
We
So-
tried. Even their roadie guy was like trying to mess with it. He was like, no, man, I can't get this to work.
Yeah, it was just a little connector that plugs into the power, just giving it no juice. So I threw it off the balcony out here afterwards.
Nice.
It was pretty frustrating.
We were so close.
Yeah. And so they ended up doing 2 songs. They did a new one, and they do one that I know because I'm a big fan, but it wasn't what they had originally planned to play. They had planned to play A Long December. And so since it was just him and his guitar player, I think they were pretty limited.
Yeah.
So they did a song called Washington Square, and it was awesome for me, but I know that it's different. But it's like, if I'd have just been told a day prior, I could have easily gotten a keyboard up here.
Also, is it weird to ask why they don't have a keyboard?
What do you mean? They're not traveling. They're just doing press.
Well,
It's
they
not-
brought a
it's not-
guitar.
It's
I
not the
didn't know.
full band.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
It's not the
Okay.
full band. It was
That
just
makes
a
sense.
player and Adam was going to play the keys.
Makes sense. Got you.
And if he was doing all the press for the record, he's not really traveling with a keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't give a 2 weeks notice.
Oh,
or
there's
anything.
Scuba coming on
There
now.
was a 2 weeks heads up and phone calls and emails trying to set it
But
up.
if
with
you
a
would have
sound
let me know
person.
even yesterday afternoon.
Yesterday I had a tree on top of my truck and I had life hit me, and so that was more important.
But a text
unfortunately.
going, hey,
Dude, I didn't get anything. She called me Sunday when the freaking tornado was coming through. I'm underneath the stairs at my house.
There was no
My kids
tornado
are
on
crying,
Sunday.
but there was warnings. I have 3 children under 7.
everything
They
is
freaked
pivoted
out.
here on excuses. There were no
It's
tornadoes.
not an excuse. On Saturday, I was underneath my stairs.
You just said Sunday.
Saturday's when it first started. That's
You were
when she
underneath
called
your
me.
stairs for 24 hours?
Not 24 hours in the moment that it was happening. And then after that, I'm reeling with it and dealing with the kids and all that crap. It gets into Sunday. I wake up like, crap, there's a tree on my truck. So I spend all of Sunday chopping down this damn tree, find out my truck's all damaged. And then I see my voicemails and all this stuff. I'm like, crap, she called me Saturday, but I would have liked to have had this handled 2 weeks ago, a week ago.
My point
5
is,
days ago.
even at noon or at 6 p.m. last night, I could have got a keyboard. Like, no problem. At 8 p.m. last night.
I could have got one 2 weeks ago, a week ago, 5 days ago, 4 days ago.
If you had just texted me last night and said, hey, can you get a keyboard? At 10 p.m. last night, I could have got a keyboard. This is Music City. I could have called 30 friends and been like, hey, I'm going to swing by and grab a keyboard.
I haven't checked Guitar Center, but they didn't open until 10, so that was going to be too late.
So still really cool, but really one of the most disappointing. They were going to be one of my favorite songs of all time, and we missed it because I didn't get a text saying, hey, we need a keyboard tomorrow.
You should have like played an instrumental and just had him fake like he was playing the keys.
Oh, man.
That's not funny, man.
You can
That's
add,
not
it,
funny.
add it in
Not
post,
funny,
Reed.
Reed.
He could still sing over the vocals.
You're gonna
I mean,
ask,
over the-
you're gonna
the
ask
guitar.
Adam Duritz to do that? Come on, man.
He probably sings over a track.
He doesn't sing
No,
over
he
a track.
doesn't.
In the studio, he does.
You don't know what he does in the studio.
I would imagine.
We hang out with him all the
about?
time.
I
That's what he
imagine they
does.
overdub.
You don't know what he does in the studio, dude.
When they make albums, that's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's not even a track. That's while they're recording it.
Well, yeah, but then, okay, you're right.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, we missed
Dang
big,
it.
big. Like personally,
That would have been really cool, man.
that'd have been the coolest performance ever of my life. In here,
A Long December.
like Garth performing in here, A Long December from Counting Crows. That'd have been it. Those have been
that's
the top ones.
You know what's crazy? Me and Kevin have never heard that song before.
A Long December.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, you guys are. You're the one
Losers.
argue. First of all, you argued for Wilt's 3-point line.
And then you say Adam Duritz overdubs.
And then you
What's the big deal?
Sings to a track. That's what it was.
oh my gosh. Anyway, that one's gonna haunt me for a while
Hey,
Sorry, dude.
because I got the schedule email from Scuba going, hey everybody, here, we're doing this. So that happened yesterday afternoon. So it was like, when you do that email, hey, can you get us a keyboard for tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's like,
I even texted someone in the building to see if we had just one like in an office somewhere, but no, man, didn't exist.
yeah. All right. Let me get into a little deal here. So pick 6 from DraftKings, and I'm gonna say pick 6 is great. First of all, because of what it does, but also because you can do it in a lot of places you can't do some of the other stuff. Pick 6 is like this. You select 2 or more players. You choose if they'll have more or less of a stat, like points, rebounds, 3-pointers. All the stats are up there. Walter Clayton for Florida, more or less than 20 points. I mean, he averages 18.5 a game. It's no Wilt, but that's pretty significant. I'd probably go less.
Defense.
Yeah, defense and two, like he played out of his mind against Auburn.
Yeah.
He's so good.
He's so good, and he's an Iona transfer, right?
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah, with Patino.
Yep. LJ Cryer for Houston, more or less than 17 points. I mean, if they're, I don't know, dude. Houston can't win.
They can.
I know.
They can win.
I know, and I'm not even gonna hate it if they do. I just can't. I can't. That doesn't compute for me with them winning a national championship.
Yeah.
It'd be like Belmont winning one to me, and it's
Yeah.
not the same. I know, but
I mean,
it's
they've
just-
been there, what, 4 times?
Yeah, they've been there a lot.
Phi Slamma Jamma.
Did you see? Oh, I'll hold that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. Anyway, so what you do is you can do LJ Cryer over under 17 points more or less. You can do Emmanuel Sharp for Houston more or less than 15 points. He averaged 13 per game. But it's an amazing way to, if you don't want to bet on the actual game, or maybe if you can't, to get in. Download the new DraftKings Pick 6 app and use the code Bobby Sports. Hey, we talked a second ago about Houston, and I think Casey had mentioned Phi Jamma Slamma.
Phi
Slamma
Slamma Jamma.
Jamma,
You're getting
whatever.
me confused now.
Yeah, I even mentioned it last week because you're talking about Clyde Drexler and Akeem Olajuwon at the University of Houston,
Amazing.
not the Rockets,
No.
Right.
where
They ended up.
Keen ended up, yeah.
But you see Olajuwon not able to get on the court to celebrate. They held him.
No. I
They
saw
wouldn't-
him courtside during
They
the
wouldn't
game.
let him on
Yeah,
the
me
court to
too.
celebrate.
Oh my
It's
God.
crazy.
That's
Why not?
messed up.
It's like royalty. They're like, no, I'm sorry, you can't get on the court.
Oh, I guess it's San Antonio. I mean, they probably don't realize.
What?
I don't know. Like, why?
But even San Antonio's close to Houston.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
pretty
know.
close.
But it doesn't matter, even if it's in Boston or Sacramento. It's like that's one of the greats. Not only is it one of the greats from the program, I can understand everybody wanting to get on the court. If you used to be a guy that played in Houston,
Yeah.
he's also
This is the guy.
yes, the guy, wildly famous.
Yeah.
On top of that, someone just should have said, "This is Akeem Olajuwon," and I'm sure they did.
He
but
also looked great, by the way, for
He
like
did.
his age. I was
Yeah.
like, wow,
and
that's
if,
him.
if they're like,
Yeah.
"I don't believe that's Akeem," dude, he's towering over you.
Look at him.
Only 7 feet. Jim Nance, too. He's
Jim
been on every
Nance,
game.
shout out. Yeah.
See him?
He hasn't lost in that shirt.
And that
Oh,
sweater,
that's right.
Yeah.
They did talk about that.
They brought it up.
Yeah.
He's a Houston alum.
hmm
That's
He
cool,
is.
man.
He is.
And he was wearing a sweater, and it's like Nance hasn't lost since Houston hasn't lost since he's been wearing the sweater,
Yep.
and he's had it on every time.
I don't know, man.
Who are
Houston
you
might
rooting
pull it
for to
off.
win the game? I don't want to do too much because this may expire. This will expire after the game tonight. But who do you want to win?
I'm usually an underdog guy, but for some reason I want Florida, and I don't know why. But I love Clayton. I love the way he plays, and Florida is just awesome. And so I want Florida.
I would like to see Florida win too. I'm an SEC guy, but if Houston wins, I won't be that mad. Although I just can't see it in my head.
Right.
Yeah.
I just can't see it because I like a team that just grinds it out. Like that's fun to see a team that isn't traditionally dynamic in the ways of dunks and 3-pointers
Mhm.
and a lot of offense, which is what the game is now. Win the thing because they just lock down. Eddie, who do you want to win?
If Florida wins, my son wins the bracket, which is like
Wow.
$500.
Oh, all right.
So I'm going for Florida just for him.
Nice.
Question. And I was thinking about this yesterday, and I saw, Kevin, that you had made the note. So I'm going to let you do the setup first because there's a guest that you say that I wanted on the show,
Mhm.
but we weren't able to find.
Yes.
I was actually thinking of a certain person like yesterday, and I don't know if it's the same person. But so you, without saying who it is, what's the story?
The story is last year you brought up a topic of discussion for all of us, and you said, what is your first memory as a child with a professional athlete? And so we all went around the room.
This is bizarre. I was thinking about this yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
Before all that? Or you
Yes.
just
but-
on your mind?
Yes. It was like randomly. I was randomly thinking about it because I'm
Wow.
going to tell you if it's the same. My thing was I went to Arkansas Travelers baseball games, and there was a pitcher named John Lepley. I just remember because he was the only autograph I ever got going to these games. And then we tried to track him down, and he was
He's like a lawyer or
Remember
something,
when-
right?
On LinkedIn, remember?
Yeah, we went on LinkedIn. He was a minor league player. Don't know if he ever made it to the majors, but I remember it vividly because that was the first autograph I ever got.
Yeah.
And it was they were AA Arkansas Travelers, John Lepley. And we searched for his name, and he was like running a division of a food company or something.
Oh, that's what it was.
We left a voicemail,
Mhm.
and I was like, if this is John Lepley, my name's Bobby Bones. And we never heard back. Crazy coincidence. So what happened?
Random. And then so somebody DM'd me on Instagram, this guy named Eric Floor, shout out to Eric Floor, and said, hey, I know this sounds crazy, but the guy you guys talked about last year, John Lepley, who gave Bobby the autograph as a kid, he recruited me for this beer company. So now I work for him, and I mentioned to him how you guys brought him up on the podcast. He was like taken back by it. Here's his number if you guys are interested in having him on.
No way.
So I was like, what?
That's crazy.
Got his number, reached out to John. I've been texting him last week for a few days here and there. And he's just like, he couldn't believe it. He's like, this is amazing. I would love to come on and talk if you guys are interested. Yeah. And I was like, do you have any identity? I just need to make sure you're the guy. You know?
Yeah.
He sends me pictures of his baseball card and ring that he had from his playing days. Awesome.
Amazing.
So two things. One, I always find a way to be insulted. It doesn't matter.
Oh no.
I know. It's just what I do, right? I always find a way to be insulted by something and to find a reason to have a chip on my shoulder. And this is awesome because I'd love to talk to him. I don't remember much about it except that was just the first person that ever autographed anything for me. And I remember his baseball card with the Travelers. But the fact that we talked about it and didn't get to him naturally, like I'm insulted by that.
Yeah, a little bit.
It took so long.
Yeah, and I'm insulted that it had to take somebody. Like I'm like, we must not be cutting through like I've been feeling we're cutting through. Like that's the kind of weird like mental games I do with myself, and that's why I hate myself most of the time. I'm
That's
like,
what you go to?
That's immediately what I went to.
But it's cool that eventually it got to him.
Yeah, like note in
year.
a bottle eventually gets across the ocean.
Took a while.
Yeah.
Well, like, what are the odds that he's recruiting this guy who listens to our show and then somehow that it's brought up almost a year later?
You're right, because I could look at it like that. Like we are cutting through so much so that there's someone, the guy you mentioned, heard it.
Eric, yep.
Eric, and it's like, I just heard them talking about you on a podcast or on the radio. So yes, I could look at it that way, but I chose not to because my reaction is to be insulted, that not by anybody specifically, but mostly at the lack. And then I look inward and go, well, it's my fault because we must not be good enough that we have enough of an audience that it landed to him quicker.
Yeah, I don't see it like that.
Yeah.
But that's fair.
But it's cool of this Eric guy to move on that because like,
Oh yeah,
how many
all that's cool.
How many podcasts do you listen to and like,
All
oh, you
that's
know what?
positive.
I'm going to do this for them.
I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
All that's positive. That part, but it's just this is a way I live my life. I don't like it, but I always find a way to be insulted or to find how I'm being wronged.
It's that Michael Jordan, you know.
I have
the
sometimes
Michael
have to
Jordan
create
gene.
stuff.
Right,
Mhm.
right. I
But
took
yeah.
that personally.
So I'm gonna not take the process personal, and I'm not gonna go home and think about how, man, we talked about it and it didn't get to him, like quicker.
So that ends here. We're done with
Yeah.
that thought.
It's like a seed, man. That's the kind of crap that drives me unhealthily. But that is super cool. I'd love to get him on. We should talk to him.
Yeah.
Friday or so.
Okay, we'll get him on.
Does you want to play pickleball for $1,000?
We need
find out
someone.
where he lives.
attorney.
We're looking for a challenger
Yes.
now. Anyone.
We have an attorney. We can set it all up. That's super cool and really weird that I was thinking about that.
Yeah. That's wild.
We have a director that's going to come on the Bobby Bones show maybe later this week. Is that confirmed, Mike?
I don't think so.
If I watch that movie and it's not confirmed, this is going to be 2 Scuba Steve kills in a week.
Oh, it's a movie director.
Yeah. Is he still out there?
He just walked out.
Yell at him.
Scuba.
You're in trouble.
Let's see
See
if
it
he
as a
comes.
hold.
Let's see if he comes back. Yeah. So they send me a movie and they say, we need you to watch this. And I'm like, I don't do deals like that. I don't like, you have to check with me first. Like, we sold this. You know, you have to watch it to interview the person. Here he comes. Scuba's coming back from his truck. There's apparently been hit by so many
Yeah, there's a
trees.
tree
he
on
couldn't
top of
remember
it.
the keyboard. Hey. Two appearances, one show.
My dream.
Do we have that interview set up for the director?
Who?
I watched that movie that you emailed me about.
Oh, yes.
500
Yeah.
times.
Ryan Coogler. Yes. Yeah. That should be Wednesday the 8th.
Okay, because it's still
Or
a
the
hold
9th.
in my calendar.
Yeah. Let me confirm it then
Oh no,
and make sure that the movie's still coming out.
You're going to get your feelings hurt twice.
it's not feelings. It's just.
Oh, it's just I'm organized as shit and everyone else is not, and so I have to deal with the frustration of people who can't get their shit together. That's the nature of this job.
No, the nature is I got my balls busted to watch this 2.5 hour movie.
That was ridiculous. That was another thing where I don't want to talk too much about it to get us in trouble. But I appreciate you doing that. I know that was a lot of hurdles to get this done, and we needed to do it. Otherwise, the interview wouldn't be what it should be without seeing the film. And it'd be very disrespectful to the director as well. So I appreciate you for taking the steps and the leaps and bounds to make that happen, because it was a lot.
You did watch it?
Well, hold on. That's not even the point of it. The point of it is I was going to mention something about it.
Yeah.
But then I thought I only watched it because this director was coming on Wednesday. But then I thought in my calendar, it still says hold. And then I'm like, if I went through all that, because you don't even know, I was going to tell you the process of getting to it. It's not just watching the movie.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
So
What?
Yeah, I'll confirm it, but it should still be for Wednesday the 9th. Maybe it was on hold because I told them we're not doing it until he's able to watch the movie the way we're supposed to watch the movie. So I put it as a hold in my head of like, we're not doing it if it's not going to be done the way it needs to be done.
okay, then update.
So let me update
right.
and find out.
Hey, have a good.
But now that you've seen the film, I can move forward.
I watched the whole thing. Go home.
Okay.
Yeah, go home.
Deal with your truck?
Yeah.
So what had happened was, and this is not on Scuba, but I never agreed to watch a movie to interview somebody. One, because I don't want to 2.5 hours. Like, I'm happy to interview. If I want to interview somebody, I just am like, I'm so interested in the project or the process or what they've done before. And so Mike, the director, is he the guy that did Black Panther?
Yeah, and he did Creed.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Oh, cool.
So he's like legit. I don't know enough about movies. All I thought was, hey, I think that's the Black Panther guy.
He's one of my favorite directors.
Did he write Black Panther?
Yes, and he's writing this. He wrote the second one too, and he's doing a third.
So big deal.
Awesome.
And so they say, will you interview him? I'm like, sure. I think it'd be pretty cool. First, I say, what if we let Movie Mike interview him? We play some clips, and they're like, well, they want a bigger audience than with the main show. Because they heard on 25 Whistles you couldn't get John Lepley. Yeah.
Hey, next year, Mike.
Yes.
Next year.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, I'm happy to. I think that would be cool. We're in. And so they say, but you have to watch the movie. And I don't like setting that precedent. It's not even about watching a movie. It's just, I don't want to set the precedent of I must
Yeah, no, I get it.
take in a whole season of a show in order to talk to. So I said, let me think about it. And it was also a horror movie. It's called Sinners. I don't like scary movies.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, this is a big deal. I'll do it. Send me the movie. And I get screener stuff quite frequently. Mike, did you get a screener?
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Did it say Scuba Steve across the front of it in massive letters?
It said my name on it.
Oh. Well, mine said Scuba Steve on it with massive letters in front of the whole thing.
The whole movie.
Yeah, and not only that, that's not even the most annoying part of it.
Dang, how can
There's
you enjoy
more.
it like that?
You can't. You just think about Scuba Steve the whole time.
Yeah.
And if I watched it now, I don't think that's a keyboard that I couldn't get from Scuba Steve.
Jeez.
So the whole time, Scuba Steve's across, and I can't even. It's not even full screen. So I tell my wife, "Hey, we need to watch this movie." She's like, "A movie? You're not a movie guy." I'm like, "I know. I'm gonna do it for work." And she's like, "Boy, what precedent is that?" I said, "I know. Like, so we try to watch it, and I pull it up, and I log into the account because there's an app, and then there's a login and a password, and so I log into this account, and it says Sinners, and I'm like, "Boom, let's go!" And I hit play, and then I do screen mirror, and I get it up on the TV, and the TV goes, is not allowed to screen mirror, illegal.
Of course.
Weird.
And so I hit Scuba up. I'm like, I can't screen mirror this. I'm not watching this thing on my phone. I'm not
The
watching,
whole movie
I'm
on
watching
your phone?
a 2.5 hour movie on my
God.
phone. You're out of your mind.
No.
And he goes, well, you can either watch it on your phone, which is, I can see where that would be difficult, or why don't you have Reed come over to your house and take a computer and hardwire it into your television?
Wow.
And I go, I don't have the wires. And two, our televisions are all mounted on a wall. We don't have a single television that has any sort of
Stand.
anything it's on to put a computer next to it, even if we had the wires.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, impossible to do. So just not going to be able to watch it. And he's like, yeah, but sales sold it. And I said, but this wasn't the plan. Like, it was never relayed to me that I needed to do this in order to do it. And so I'm watching a bunch of White Lotus on my iPad because I'm trying to catch my wife. And I think if I'm okay with watching White Lotus on my iPad, I can watch this movie that's 2.5 hours in 35 to 40 minute clips while I'm on the treadmill, because that's where I was watching White Lotus. I would just get on and just walk or just jog a little and then just rally through White Lotus. So I turned this movie on my iPad and it's just big enough where I'm not annoyed, but it doesn't even cover the whole screen. It's still like in the iPad. It's still like that version where it's what's it called?
Windowed, like to where it, like
it's not even windowed, but even though the whole screen is taken up, the quarter of the top and quarter of the bottom is still black. Yes.
It's because they filmed it for IMAX, so it actually goes back and forth between. Like,
I didn't have an IMAX. I was gonna watch it on my phone.
Oh, you have an iPad.
Yes.
What do you have?
Not an
It needs to be
IMAX.
filmed for iPad.
And so I'm watching it on my iPad, and Michael B. Jordan is in it, and he plays twins, and the genre was described as horror, and I don't want to watch horror. But then I start to talk to myself and go, well, I watch zombie stuff. And how I justify that is I justify it by going, well, this could actually happen one day. Therefore, it feels like it's not as... I don't like Freddy Krueger. I never watched Jason. I never watched Candyman.
Scary stuff.
I don't do that crap. I don't like jump scares.
Don't do it.
So it's been such a process to get here. But I tell myself I'm going to watch the first 40 minutes. And if I don't like the first 40 minutes, I'll just lie and say I watched the whole thing because they're not going to be talking about the end of the movie anyway. And you watched it, right, Mike?
I did.
I don't even know what I can say about the plot because are they keeping some of the plot back?
The thing is, they kind of are, but it's also like a part of the horror element that they talk about. So it's an interesting way. I don't know.
What's the movie about, Mike?
It is about these two twins, Smokestack twins.
Smoke and Stack.
Smoke and Stack.
Both played by Michael B. Jordan.
And they come home they were in Chicago, and now they're trying to start like this jukebox joint where it's just people going and hanging out, and then some freaky stuff happens.
Takes place in like the old days?
1930s.
Got it.
Nice.
Yeah, in the Delta. And it's blues music. It reminds
That's
me
cool.
very like Robert Johnson, Sold a Soul to the Devil type stuff.
Gotcha.
Like that's kind of the
Crossroads.
vibe. Kind of the vibe of
Crossroads,
what
yep.
it's about, kind of. So should I say nothing else about the movie?
I mean, I was watching like the premiere of it, and like Michael B. Jordan says it. So I was like, if he says it, is it fine?
Haley Steinfeld's in it.
Josh Allen's wife or fiance.
Fiance, yeah.
yeah.
I think she's the only white person in the whole movie.
Yeah, that's kind of a plot point.
Yeah. And so, what'd you think about it, movie, Mike?
I enjoyed it. I like his work. I like the blending of different genres. It kind of felt like 3 different movies in one. So I had a good time watching it. And I think the level of horror, it's like bloody and a little bit disturbing if you're not used to horror.
I was going to do 45 minutes. I ended up watching like an hour and 20 the first time.
Okay.
All on the treadmill?
Yep.
Nice.
And then later that afternoon, night, I was like, I was kind of into it. So I finished it. So I watched the whole movie. Again, not a horror guy or horror guy for the record, because it sounds similar.
Clarify.
Yeah, good.
I liked it. I think if I liked horror movies, I would have liked it a whole lot more. And it wasn't classic jump scare. There were a couple of those,
Yeah.
but it wasn't what I would have thought was like an 80s or 90s horror movie where it's just crap out of places. I would give it 4 steel guitars. Not even steel. I would give it 4 blues guitars out of 5.
There you go.
And I think if you liked horror movies, you'd probably give it more.
Yeah, I'm a little higher than you. I'd go 4.5 out of 5.
Wow.
Pretty good.
All right.
Is it more of like a bloody horror?
I don't want to say
I guess you can't say a
anything.
lot. Okay, never mind.
Because when I looked it up, the things I was seeing in the movie wasn't really what was happening in like they were just so secretive when
Gotcha.
reading about the plot
Yeah.
on like Rotten Tomatoes. That
written wise, they don't say anything. If you watch the trailer, there's some stuff in there. But as far as like what they're promoting it as, they don't really say what happens in the second and third act.
But I jumped 13 hoops to watch that stupid thing on my iPad. It has nothing to do with the movie or the director, but with Scuba Steve again.
Yeah, Scuba.
To bring this back.
And you had to watch the movie with his name on the screen the whole time.
The whole time,
Yeah.
screaming at me.
Jesus.
That is
Scuba Steve.
incredible.
Yeah,
That's
I do this all
incredible.
the time, and every studio does it differently. Some people you can mirror from your iPad, no problem, but some people it's just so locked down.
Yeah, no, and then have Reed come over and build a contraption to hot wire it into my television. He was like, just have Reed come over. So watch. I think people will like it though.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna crush.
If you're mildly interested in horror movies, it didn't feel Freddy Jason-y to me. It felt a little mix of like what I think a horror movie is
Yeah, I
versus
think
what I like.
Yeah, I think when you think of horror, you think of like 90s and 2000s slashers. I think it has evolved since then. There's this level of modern horror. Like you like the Jordan Peele stuff, right? That stuff is horror. Like Get Out.
Man, it sounds like horror, doesn't it?
Us.
Like, yeah,
Horror.
Yeah. I saw couple of those. I saw Get Out. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Get Out.
I saw the one with the scissors too. What was that one?
That was Us.
That was good too.
The one with the scissors.
He's doing a new one that's coming out later this year that's sports based.
Football, yeah.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Huh.
Where like the guy gets to go train with like his idol quarterback or something,
Yeah.
right?
I don't understand how that guy can be so funny and
I
then
know.
direct those scary
Right,
movies
put
like
those
that.
out.
How can I be so good in the morning talking about music and then sit here and do sports?
Same
at the
thing.
level I do
Same
it.
thing.
Wow.
Come on.
Exactly.
Pretty
And then
amazing to watch.
and I'm so good. John Lepley doesn't even know who I am. Oh my goodness. All right. Let me see if there's anything else. Reed's never seen Rudy or Field of Dreams. Speaking of movies, Eddie.
Wow.
No.
Isn't that ridiculous? Like we were just talking and I was like, dude, like Rudy. He's like, oh, I never seen it. You never seen Rudy?
He's also never heard of A Long December.
Correct.
No.
Never seen Field of Dreams. I guess the only
Field of
sports
Dreams is-
movie he's ever seen is Radio.
I feel like, dude,
That's
I feel like
that's
Rudy is crazy. You
I
haven't
know.
seen Rudy.
I've never seen Rudy. I don't
Okay,
know.
Field of Dreams older than Rudy.
But amazing.
true.
I'm not arguing how good it is, but I'm saying, and football much more popular than baseball.
Yeah.
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 So those two elements, and Rudy is still brought up in pop culture all the time.
I guess that shows you how much I was not interested in sports.
I can get you a screener of Rudy. Now it says
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It says Scuba Steve. Yes, you got to watch it on your phone, and it just Scuba Steve in huge letters.
Man,
have
they're
to watch
pretty.
it.
They're locking this show down still. That's crazy.
Dude, I was so pissed.
That's
When I
hilarious.
finally decided I'm going to do it on iPad, fine. And then it's only like quarter screened with Scuba Steve letters over the entire thing.
You could have put it on the golf simulator. That's connected to your computer.
I couldn't have done that on the treadmill.
Oh no,
That
yeah.
would have been awesome. Yeah.
Reed, you have to watch Rudy
I'll watch it. Yeah.
before, I'm going to say, Thursday midday.
I watched Man on the Moon.
There we go.
Did you review
Yeah.
it?
I watched it.
Did you review it, though?
Yeah. Well, I wrote some notes down on my phone.
No, I'm saying, did we review it here?
No, not
Oh,
yet.
it's my favorite movie of all time.
I know. Remember you told me, Casey and I, like, you guys got to watch that one.
I didn't want to push. I didn't know when you guys would be done with it.
Oh, yeah. No, I watched it.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me pull up my notes real quick.
Oh, your official review?
Well, because I brought in the ball too, right? I brought in the ball, and that's a Jerry
Yes.
Lawler baseball
Right.
that he signed to Andy Kaufman. And so I also have a note Andy Kaufman wrote to himself at my house
Yeah, that's cool.
that is like, hey, you know, when you have a down day, this is how you're going to get through it. So I have that at my house.
That's cool.
I'm a big Andy Kaufman fan. And so we were talking about movies. That's my favorite movie ever. And they didn't know much about Andy Kaufman. And I said, oh, watch this. But Casey or Kevin had seen the documentary about making the movie, but just not the movie.
Yeah, I saw the
Was it you?
documentary, the Jim Carrey documentary
That's
thing.
weird.
Yeah.
It's a little backwards.
Yeah.
But
That's
I get
going, I think I'm going to do Godfather 2, but you've not seen one.
But at that point, I literally had no idea who Andy Kaufman was
Okay. So
when I watched that.
you have your review up?
So now I have the review up. First of all, I've never even seen Taxi. Don't even know.
You
what-
wouldn't unless you were a Nick at Night fan because it was on before any of us were born. It was like the 70s. I guess maybe Eddie was
no, I
alive.
wasn't born. I wasn't.
But it was a massive television show in the 70s, primetime sitcom.
Okay. And then, second of all, I'm actually happy I didn't know anything about Andy Kaufman because as the movie's going along and you know who he is, where he takes bits and just to another level and basically is living them out in real life, you don't know what's real and what's not. I didn't know throughout the whole movie if he was dying, if he wasn't dying, if he was this, if he was that. So I thought that made the movie a lot better from my perspective. And honestly, the movie was awesome.
The movie
It was
itself,
amazing.
right?
Yeah, really, really good. The acting is good. Danny DeVito's hilarious. Everything about it was really, really good.
Do you know who his girl is in the movie?
Like,
The
as an
actress.
actress? No.
That's a trip.
Should I look it up?
Who?
Courtney Cox. I don't know. Courtney.
No.
Courtney.
Courtney Love.
Courtney Love.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he doesn't know who she is.
Yeah, but I think that's why he's like, wouldn't
Yeah.
care. So Courtney Love was one in Hole, lead singer of Hole, but she was Kurt Cobain's wife
Oh.
from Nirvana.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you like the movie for
I really,
itself?
really, really liked it. Like, I'm honestly upset with myself. I've never seen that movie.
What do you think, Casey?
So I think I actually saw this movie because it came out in '99. So I think I might have seen it, but I completely don't remember any of it. So I'm sorry. I have to rewatch.
Oh, you didn't watch it yet?
No.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, well then you're like Reed. You're under the gun.
I like how he delivered
By
that though.
Thursday.
Yeah, I thought he was like, I might have seen it already. So when I watched it again,
When did Rudy come out?
93. I
Mid
think.
90s, yeah.
Oh, 93?
You're gonna love it.
All right.
when were you born?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
96?
It's crazy to think you weren't born when Rudy came out. Not that I even remember Rudy at the theaters, because I don't. I think I watched it way later too. I didn't go to the movie theater and watch that. But that you weren't born when Rudy was born, the movie.
Yeah, I grew up on the Disney specials, man, in 2000s. All those Disney
But one doesn't
originals.
keep you from knowing the others.
No, for sure.
That's like Scuba going, I couldn't email you about the keyboard because I had limbs on my truck. And I'm like, you sent other emails about work. You know?
Yeah. You know a football movie that I loved that I'd love to watch again just for fun is The Program. I haven't watched that movie in
Overrated.
a long time.
I'm afraid to watch it again because we watched it so many times. We watched it in playing high school football every day because 7th period is when football started, but anyone that was off 6th went in and they just turned it on every day, 6th period. And so I have fond memories of Latimer's back and watching The Program. But if I go back now, I bet it doesn't hold up.
You don't think so?
No, I watched it like 5 years ago for the first time. I was like, this is bad.
Oh, man.
Also, they cut a scene from the theater to when they actually put it out on, I guess, VHS at first.
Yeah, I never saw that scene.
Because in the theater, the team to bond, they all laid in the street on the yellow line to be like, we can do this together. Yeah, and so all these cars are flying by on whatever. Nobody dies in the movie, but then kids started to do it, and a kid got run over.
Oh, geez.
So they took that
They
scene
took
out.
that scene out of the movie.
Huh.
Yeah. So, all right, there you go. I think that's it. I have nothing else. Thank you.
There we go. Ding, ding, ding.
I'm hungry.
So am
I
I.
have therapy to go to.
Are you going to bring up the whole thing about Arkansas Travelers guy? And then the Scuba Steve thing?
The Scuba Steve thing is every day, right? I mean, that's not a big deal. That's just uncharacteristic, but he did pivot hard out of it to be like, I had limbs on my truck. And I'm like, well, you emailed me 2 other times about work that afterward. Like, just say what's up. We get a keyboard. It's been one of the coolest things about life. The other thing, though, is like that I battle that every day. I find a way to find how I'm being done wrong every day to continue to fight and prove otherwise. And I shouldn't do that.
Say it like that to your therapist. See what he says.
Well,
You're good. You can leave.
do you know how therapy works?
No. Is that not how
You
it
all
works?
talk about it for a
You're
little
good.
bit.
You can leave.
It's about talking it out.
You win. Is that what Mike said? All right,
You're cured. There you go.
you win. All right, we're done. You guys have a great day, and we will see you later on this week. I think on Friday's show, Rick Barnes will be on, Tennessee basketball coach.
Yeah,
and I'm going to ask him, why have you been avoiding me? And why have you been avoiding us?
You're going to start it like that?
I don't know. It depends what kind of mood I'm in.
Yeah, feel it
depends
out.
what Scuba Steve does to me that day. Because had he come on today, that's how we'd have started. All right, that's it. Eddie, blow the whistle. All right, we'll see you guys later on this week. Bye, everybody.